Hey, what's going on? You're all very welcome to episode 77 of Buckshot for Friday. Fuck me, I can't even think about what date it is. It's Friday, it's number 77. I'll tell you why I can't think of what date it is, because I'm recording this on a Tuesday, the day the Ramble Pod came out. Because like I told you on the Ramble Pod, I'm away on fucking holidays for a couple of days. So I got this one recorded and I'm going to put it up. And it'll come out Friday morning as per you're hearing it right now. That's the fucking reason why I don't know what fucking day of the week. Today's the 2nd, so 3rd, 4th, 5th? 5th, I think? It is the 5th. It is the 5th. Friday the 5th. Thank you very much for tuning in. If it's your first time, of course, hit subscribe. Fuck it. It'll be in your ear pipes at least twice a week. This is good. Thank you very much, of course, to all the Patreon people. The new gear, it has been dispatched. It got dispatched and it should be here. It should be here. As I'm talking to you on Friday, it should have landed and it should be in the house, the whole lot. Well, I sent it to the mother-in-law's house because you know yourself, you're away for a day or two. Others, I could have sent it. We're having house sitters. I've never had house sitters before. We're having mates of ours who are, I suppose they just want to stay in our house. So let them have at it. Holidays are going great, I'm assuming. It's fucking always weird when you're talking in the future. I won't keep you long too much. But yeah, thank you very much to the Patreon people like that. Give Patreon an old fucking look. If it's your bag, sling the old fucking thing in a couple of quid. It's because what's coming up next week is a sign of fucking things to come. If we can arm wrestle fucking shitty work away. Like, to give you an example, tonight, right now, it's not shitty work, but you know what I mean. I prefer to be just doing podcasts. It is now 11 o'clock at night, 20 past 11, and because we're flying out early tomorrow, we're getting drops at the airport. We're staying at the in-laws, so I can't go record this in the house. I've got the gear with me. I'm actually sitting in the fucking car outside the house right now. Would you believe that? Would you fucking credit that? It's actually grand. It's a grand recording studio. The car seats are comfortable. I spend most of my fucking life in this bastard and thing, so it's prime. It's probably where I should record all my podcasts, really. So yeah, there you go. I was out fucking teaching an acting class this evening. There you go. When I could be at home just podcasting the living bejesus out of you, talking live with fucking Patreon people and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? These are all the places I've got so many fucking ideas for this shit, and I just need I needed to pay to justify not having to go anywhere other than just fucking record podcasts. So like that, we have a very fun podcast coming up. And just to give you a heads up, I won't reveal the guest just yet. But we are, next Tuesday it will be, keep an eye on my Instagram and Twitter and the Laughter Lounge, because I'm going to be recording from the stage of the Laughter Lounge. And we're going to live stream a lot of it, because that's the plan, to see how it goes, see how the live streaming goes. And we're going to invest in actual proper gear that will film and edit in real time and actually fucking stream it live. Stream it fucking live. Oh, what you think about that now? What you think about that? Live from the Laughter Lounge. So it may be the new Buckshot. It may be live at the Lounge Pods. Who knows? But these are the kind of things, again, I'm going to have to crowbar this in for a while, but to justify fucking putting out 2 or 3 podcasts a week, I'm going to need your help, lads. I'm going to need the help of the patrons. So do give Patreon a look. Also, thank you very much to the T Republic people. I've come up with a plan. How for the Buckshot thing that I'm going to take on myself. I like that, because I haven't enough on my fucking plate. But I've taken up. I was actually speaking to today's guest, and he had a really good idea for merch for people that I'll be able to handle myself. And I'm going to give it a go, see what people think, because people are buying directly from the T Republic site, and I'm getting pretty much fuck all for it. But it's cool, at least the word is being spread. People like the logo, which is cool. I'm, next gigs that I can wrap my head around, the middle to the end of the month are fucking crazy, so, but the first gigs that come up that I can think of, I'm going to be in the International Comedy Club all weekend. Not doing comedy, not doing podcasts, I'm going to be doing stand-up. I'll be there from the 11th through to the 13th with 2 shows on the Saturday the 13th. So pop on down if you fancy coming to the International. Have a look at the old website, tomomahony.com/gigs to see when I'm coming to a town near you, because I just added another one for Cork this month, so I will be crowbarring in another one. Cannot fucking wait for these holidays. So, yeah, it's fucking like that. You know what? I just need to just fucking turn off the phone. Just walk around my jocks for a few days. walk around in my fucking jocks for a few days. It's going to be fun times. I'll tell you all about it next week on the Ramble Pod. If I can find a chance to crowbar it in, because I'm recording in Galway with a very well-known guest on Monday. I'm teaching an acting class there. I'll probably do it really late on a Monday night, because obviously Tuesday I will be live recording from the Laughter Lounge. Keep an eye on that. If you want to fucking see the videos or whatever, follow me on the Instagram anyway, and follow the Laughter Lounge. That way you'll definitely catch it some which way. Like I said, thank you very much to the Patreons, and I'll move quickly on to today's guest. Fantastic. One of the fucking most professional people I've ever seen in this business. He's both a magician and stand-up. And he combines the two brilliantly. It's like funny, self-deprecating stuff, which is utterly fucking deceiving because his skills are out of fucking bounds. I can see this guy getting standing ovations and stuff like at the Laughter Lounge. It's just amazing. And one of the coolest cats you'll ever meet. Very, very funny. Very, very fucking skilled. Check him out when you get a fucking chance. Like that. He's just one of the best in the business. One of the hell of a nice fella. So please enjoy the fantastic Jack Wise. Look, there she is sorting herself, Jack.
Look at that.
Now, you're all the time learning around me.
Sure am, haven't I?
Thank you very much, Jack Wise.
It looks like an electric razor, the thing where
it does actually, doesn't it? Yeah.
Like one of those razors your dad used to have.
I was actually down with my, early this morning, I was down with my 97-year-old grandfather. And he was there shaving. He's like, I think this razor's, I think it's fucked.
It's not your face that's gone. Yeah. It's 97 years old, dude. It's your face.
Yeah. Oh, no.
It's like an old belt.
Nothing to do with that. No. This yoke is broken. Like, he's 97 going on, like, 56. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't...
Okay, doesn't feel age.
No, it doesn't compute it at all. Like, what's with these fucking legs? Must be the floor, is it?
Must be the fucking floor. Gone. No, your legs are mummified.
Yeah, they're fucking ancient, man.
From running during the uprising.
Yeah.
Mad joke.
To running to the telephone down the street.
Yeah. From cranking cars.
Is Jack Wise your real name or your stage name?
It is today. It is for revenue reasons.
Absolute good stuff. Where are you from?
Originally, I was brought up in the heart of Dublin for Sandymount. My father was the son of a van driver, and when he turned and told his father he wanted to be an accountant, he got a clip around the ear. Very much the same way I got a clip around the ear when I told him I wanted to be a magician.
Van driver didn't like the idea of his son being an accountant.
He just thought he was talking nonsense. I mean, my dad grew up in a basement apartment, flat apartment. In Fitzwilliam Square, apartment, condo, and his old man was a van driver,
right?
And he was like, "I want to be an accountant," and of course, it was like, "Stop talking nonsense. Get in there.
Don't be getting outside your lane," kind of thing.
It's just like, whatever. I'm sure. Because when I told him I wanted to be a magician, comedian, I suppose for the benefits of the listeners, I would always say I'm a magician who does a bit of comedy.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably a lot of comedians who say the same thing.
Well, I'm a professional driver who does a bit of fucking jokes in between all that shit and driving.
That's what it's about. That sounds so great,
isn't it?
I'm a getaway driver who's pretty funny while I'm doing getaways.
But because I'll have done an intro before this anyway on you, like, but it's not that people wouldn't know who you are anyway, Jack. All your fans will be listening to this, like, so. I mean, what age are we talking? Like, had you any inklings of being an accountant or being anything else?
No. My background, like, I went to my background was like I did electronic engineering and I worked for a private investigation firm for quite a period of time, which was very cool because I was installing pinhole cameras and bugs on telephone lines and everything. Yeah, for about 3 years when I was. I'm 44, so it's 24 years ago, man. It's quarter of a century ago.
You must have thought you were fucking James Bond going around.
I did, and I had a business card as well. So the company I was working for, Talbot Services, Mike Talbot, he was a private investigator who was retired from the Met, the London Metropolitan Police, and he got in touch through a mutual friend. A mate of mine was really good at electronics, and when he heard we were just both out of school at the same time.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, well, you want to learn how to install these cameras? I don't know how to do it. Maybe you'd be up for it. And this is before you could transmit an actual video signal. So we had to hardwire them. We'd go into a pub.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we'd go into a pub. We'd go into a hardware. We had
good shit. Let's get the GoPro going.
Yeah, we used to go into places like everywhere. We put them in everywhere. We went into hardwares, into a lot of family businesses, because there's what they call internal shrinkage.
Oh yeah, dipping in the fucking...
In the till. Somebody reaching into the till or whatever. And we did some mad camera jobs. We did mad. Like, I remember we put them into a tin of paint. There was nowhere to install a camera. So we emptied the worst coloured tin of paint we could find. It was like bilious green. And we just went, nowhere.
No one's going to buy this shit.
Nobody in this county is going to want that, please God. So we emptied it, and then we ran the cable out the back and all the way around to what was a time-lapse video recorder, old VHS recorder, which cost about £2,000 at the time. But basically all it was your standard domestic video recorder, but somebody managed to turn the speed right down, so it just recorded real slow. So you'd get 27 hours onto a 4-hour tape.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
right.
So it was mad, and but it was very unsociable hours. Like, you'd have to go into somewhere, like into pubs. Pubs were another one. Once the staff have gone, you have to get in before the cleaners come in the morning. So you'd go in, you'd be waiting outside.
And were you putting in covert cameras into pubs as well?
Oh, into pubs. We put them into hardwares. We did one family business where the father couldn't figure out there was money going missing. And we were like, okay, we'll put them over the tills, couldn't see anything. We put them over the back of the stock room where they bring in and out the goods, nothing going missing. And we noticed the old man used to come, take the money out of the till, go into the back room. The house was on the side of it, and he'd have a nap, come back in, put the money back into the till, and so we were like, let's put one into the house. So we put one into the house. His sons were robbing him when he was asleep. He'd go in and have a nap, take his
The rotten fuckers.
Yeah, for real. Like, you wouldn't believe. And you do kind of lose a bit of faith in humanity when you see...
I'd imagine, because you're trying to fucking catch people out, basically.
Yeah. You are. And the other thing is, the one thing the guy who's paying you to put the camera in is they don't want the staff finding out.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't want the staff finding out. That was the main thing, because just any trust that the staff have with them afterwards is gone. It's shot.
Yeah.
It's like, your man's gone.
Fuck this
Where
guy,
else has he got them? Has he got them in the toilets? Where else are the cameras?
Did you ever put any in toilets?
No, we put them into changing room once because there were people robbing the changing rooms.
Oh, that's understandable, yeah.
But it was pretty awful looking at that outfit. I was like, that was a lunch moving. It was just, that was an in your mouth bar. Because it's just horrible.
It never pans out how you think. It's never going to be like smoking hot women walking in there. It's going to be old lads, flutes hanging out, like,
It's not pretty.
Fucking hell.
Not pretty.
And what was the turning point? You'd obviously been doing magic since you were young. Like,
I did it as a kid. I remember going down. I remember bunking off school and going into the Irish Life Mall, which I'm surprised is still open, but it is, down on Talbot Street. And there was a shop in there selling magic tricks, and was Paul Daniels there with his toupee.
Oh, on the box.
On the box, but they were only small. They were pocket money tricks, and on the back it said beginners, intermediary, and then it was master. So I was like, forget all that. Give me the master. Give me the master. So I go home, lock myself in my bedroom at about 12 years old, and kept practicing this trick. And I had an aunt who she still is alive, but a woman who'd be very quick to point out. She'd go, no, I saw how that's done. That's crap. She'd say to me, didn't care about disappointing the child. She'd go, that's crap. I can see how it's done. Look, it's quite obvious. You stupid boy. So I remember going down and completely fooling her with it. Right. And she was turning it, and I just remember her turning it quite well spoken. She goes, how is this fucking child doing this? And I went back up and I went, yes, I'm a master. I'm a master. So that was I love
cool. How she suddenly turned into Maggie Smith there, like from Downton Abbey, like, how is this fucking child doing this?
Well, that's how she spoke. She still does. She's quite a
grand lady.
Yeah, she's quite a grand lady, but she just decided when she was watching these tricks, it's like, no, I don't take pity. It's like, if it's not good, I'm going to tell you. And you're going to have to suck it up.
Great.
So, yeah, it was great. It was great, because I knew when I went that she was going to, that was it. It was going to be grilled. So did that. And then it was always a hobby, and a mate of mine saw me at a party introduced me to another fella. This is when I was about, I don't know, 21, 22, and he ran the Pod nightclub. He ran the VIP suite.
Yeah.
And he said, "Come on in, do some magic in there." I was like, "Oh, I don't know about that." And then he told me how much he was willing to pay me. It was like €150 for 2 hours. This is £150. This is 20 years ago.
Oh my God! You took his fucking hand off.
Money. So I took his hand off, went in and did magic for the likes of over the
Bono sitting there or whatever.
Bono, Robbie Williams, the Spice Girls, they all came through because whenever there was a concert afterwards, they'd always go back to this.
To the Pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the place. Jamiroquai. Like, it just loads them. And that got me working. Then a friend of mine, Sinead Ryan, who runs Presence Pure, the nicest, very, very funny, very witty. She booked me into the Halfpenny Bridge Inn, the comedy club in Battle of the Axe.
Right.
Which of course you'll be familiar with.
Yeah.
And I got thrown on stage there, which was
a
bowel moving.
How did she think
experience
make the crossover?
Well, she just said it's time for you to do some stage, and I was like, well, but, and she goes, "No, but you're booked in. That's it."
Wow.
And I was like, okay, and she gave me that nudge, and you know what? If she hadn't, I don't know. I'm sure I would have gone on stage. But I do remember one time when I was in, it was a tough gig in the Pod because they were all off their banger.
Of course they were,
ecstasy and everything.
Cold,
and I was stone cold sober, standing there looking at these guys coming in, a sweaty mess. And I just remember one guy turning to me and going, "If this isn't good, I'm going to punch you in the face." And his mates were all sitting there. And I just said, "If it is good, do I get to punch you in the face?" And they went, "Whoa!" You know, and they were a few years older than me, some stocky looking fellas. Did a trick, and the first one he was sitting there, and then the third one I nailed it, and he was like, "Fair enough." And I just looked at him and went, "Hold still now." And his mates all laughed, and but that was the start of what I just kind of went, you know, it's like just mess with them, just start acting.
Because I did a gig before, and it was for Guinness, and I was some ridiculous company, like, you know, these companies that have ludicrous money that are still in boom times even when recessions happen. You know, these companies interns all get treated to drinks and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was for that. It was a fuck up of a gig because they didn't know what was running. The lad who was head of the crack, essentially from this company, didn't know what he was doing. So I got him to circle around. We did some stand up, and then there was a chap doing. They'd have banned a magician and me. Yeah, and they were paying us all well, but. This chap, he was very good at what he was doing. He was crowd stuff and he was going around to him. But there was no banter or crack out of him whatsoever.
Why? What's that about?
And I was saying, I wasn't going to tell the man his business, like, but at the same time I was going, yes, you're very good and you're blowing drunk kids' minds, but you could take it way up if you got a bit more personality about you. Yeah. Like he was, and I don't know, was it nerves or what, but he was very good at what, he just seemed like, he struck me like a fella, he definitely wanted to be in the magic circle.
It's too much practicing. It's like, get out of your bedroom, dude.
Yeah.
Stop practicing under the stairs. Like
these people are steaming drunk too. Like they want a bit of crack.
They want to have a laugh.
Yeah.
But I think some people, it's like, it's when something like a magician, you get paid for what people don't see.
Yeah.
Somebody goes up as a pianist and they play something beautiful. You go, "Oh, that's obviously amazing. That's beautiful." Like you can see and hear.
It's tangible.
It's tangible. But with a magician, it's different. But it's like, I think there's a massive difference between a magician and an entertainer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Most magicians aren't necessarily all that entertaining. They're resting on the laurels of magic. They're going, well, if I do something that's like bubblegum for their eyes, they'll, oh, look at that. Well, then it's, but like, they had to listen to you for 8-10 minutes before that.
The build-up can get weird. Get fucking weird. Like, throw in some sort of line there, please. Throw in some sort of line.
Dude. Please, because... And I grew up I remember watching Paul Daniels as a kid and then watching all the Copperfield specials. And I wasn't big into... I mean, I was at Copperfield, I just watched it and go, okay, yes. But Paul Daniels, when he was doing his live show, was brilliant. He was hilarious.
Of course he was, because he was very, very funny. Like,
he grew up
he's self-deprecating as well.
Self-deprecating, and he worked at working men's clubs all over Northern England for all the coal miners and all those boys. And they used to, as soon as you walk on stage, it was like a verbal fist fight. So he cut his cloth in that, but when you see him doing a live show, it was very different to the man you saw on the TV show. But I love the variety act. I mean, I suppose while I play comedy clubs, most of my work is festivals and corporates. I mean, I suppose I would say I'm probably more of a variety performer than I am a comedian.
Because you do more than just magic stuff. Like you do some fucking dangerous shit.
I sword swallow, I think there's maybe 2-3 sword swallowers in the country. There's supposedly only 60 in the world, and I taught myself sword swallowing, which was so stupid.
Oh man, how where? Yeah.
I taught myself sword swallowing. I read a book called Memoirs of a Sword Swallower by a guy called Daniel Manx.
Were you expecting it to be something way filthier than that?
It's like, well, here's how I taught myself. Actually, somebody else taught me. I remember
He was very gentle.
it's like the Christian Brothers. The book. Yeah, everybody there's a whole array of jokes I do about that on stage.
No, no doubt. Yeah.
Because you can just see when people see you swallow it like a yard of steel afterwards. You could just see, and I even say, "Oh, look, girls look jealous."
And all the gay dudes are going, hello.
But it's there's supposedly only 6 zoos in the world.
Really? Is it?
Yeah, I love variety. I just look and I go, that's a cool thing, I want to learn it. I did the same with ventriloquism. A guy got me out of the audience, put a mask on me with a movable jaw, a magician, a pal of mine. And he had me doing YMCA, and I'm a little teapot, and like, you've seen me doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, and he taught me that, and he was going like, okay, here's the principle of ventriloquism. He said, it's not that big a deal. By the way, you can't throw your voice for people who think you can't.
Yeah.
Or you can. It's not possible. It's like
physics, wouldn't it?
No, there's no, but it's the illusion it causes for the mind. The eye is attracted to movement. And when somebody's mouth moves, if I can, it's like, let's say you have a puppet, or in the case of a mask, when the mask moves and they hear the sound, the brain automatically transposes the sound to the mouth, as in that's the origin.
It syncs it up, like, yeah.
It's the reason why this sounds like, okay, here's a very distant metaphor. It's like when you see an ambulance, or you hear an ambulance coming, you can't hear you're looking around, you're going, where is it coming from? And then you see the blue light. That's why the light is on it. So you can actually identify where the sound is coming from.
Okay, yeah.
And it's the same with ventriloquism. It's like the movement of the mouth of the puppet or the mask is, if you sync it with the words that are being said, the brain just
That's good enough for your brain.
It's good enough for your brain. Your brain goes, it's coming from there. And it's another act that's like, it's another skill which is similar to magic in that you're fooling the mind.
It tears the place up, doesn't it?
Well, it's just it's their reaction as well when you put them on the stage, and the eyes are visible. The person's eyes, you can see that look. Their eyebrows raising, and I know Nina Conti does it as well. I saw her. And by the way, I was doing it before.
Yes, you were.
Well,
yes,
you know what? It's been around a long time. It goes back to the turn of the century.
I opened for her down in Cork, and she did it. And
she does 2 people. I've never watched it because I don't want it to influence.
Don't.
No.
It's no.
Oh, it wasn't it?
No. I'd seen you the week I was in the Laughter Lounge the week previous to that, and I saw her do it, and she brought on 2 people, but it was good, but it was.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, hey, I fucking tore the show up because people had come to see. It was at the Opera House in Cork. Like, people had come to see her, and they didn't know there was.
How many is that seat? That's like.
I could be wrong, but I think it's over 1,000. It's 1,200 at least.
I'd say so.
If not 1,400. Yeah. It wasn't rammed that night, but there was definitely close to 1,000 in, because it was like a Monday night. But people had come because a lot of people, from what I could work out, the vibe I got was a lot of people had come because it was on. They honestly, had they put anybody on, they were going, I think I know who she was. There wasn't 1,000 Nina Conti fans in Cork. Do you know what I mean? It was that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Opera House is such a huge mailing list too. Like,
yeah, of course.
But I remember she wouldn't. You know the way normally, like, there was no. When I went to shake hands beforehand, she was just like, It's like she could have been on the fucking moon. She couldn't care less. I'm like, okay, maybe she's having a rough day or whatever. And
that's not great between acts. I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
Why not be sound?
Like? Yeah, of course.
But she hadn't. Now she was polite when I met her at the very, very end again. But like, polite as if, you know, I had barely existed. But I remember I was asking her manager, would Nina announce me on? Because obviously nobody knows I'm coming, and it'd be great to hear her voice. And he went, yeah, no. I went, okay.
Oh, was it like that? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It was exactly like that. I'll never forget. It would talk about how naive you'd be. Like, I
don't think that's such a big ask.
No, it's not. And
come on,
like when Bill Burr will do it for lads, you know what I mean? Like, it's no issue. Like,
why is it a big deal? It's like, look, firstly, they're going on before. You know, if you're opening the show for them, it's like, well, it's presumably he had some say in that. So why wouldn't he announce? Say, you know, it's like, hey, he's a good pal of mine. He's coming on. He's going to make you laugh. It's like,
yeah. But I remember she wouldn't do it, and then the stage hand, I said, would you do it just to the stage mic? In the wings there, would you say it? And he went, okay. I went, oh my God. And right before I was about to go on, I went.
Okay.
I said, dude, would you? And he went.
Nervous best man.
He actually just went, no. I said, dude, you're not even out on the fucking stage. Just
Couldn't
announced.
do it.
And he just locked up, and I went, fuck, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
So, giving it the whole. But then I took off walking too quickly. Rather than letting it soak in for a split second that a sport act was coming on, I just gave myself the announcement and shut off. And it's a big ass stage.
Yes, did you take a shock, did you?
I walked on to total fucking silence. You could hear my feet in the back.
And it's a long walk.
A long walk to the centre of that stage, and I went, yeah.
There we go.
And then people started laughing because it was like, I just announced, I told the whole story. This is the fucking snack. Because do you know what? I was fucking her under the bus because she didn't ask me to be there. She didn't even want to shake hands with me, so I fucked her under the bus a bit. Like Nina was supposed to do, but fuck knows where she is. And the weird thing was, you see, I think she didn't ask for an open act. I think it was she was doing an hour, and the Opera House wanted 2 hours of a show to justify people coming. So because normally as an open act you do 20, 25. Yeah. They said, would you do 45?
An hour is kind of a short show, isn't
it?
What's that about? And how much were the ticket prices? I'm surprised because firstly, I've seen her monkey puppet routine, and I think it's amazing. And she's a really good vent. You know, she is a talented ventriloquist. There aren't many women ventriloquists, so I'm kind of surprised that she got that. I could have caught her on a total bad day. I've never met the woman, but I saw a documentary she was in about her mentor, and he was following her around, and it was interesting.
They're ludicrously rich, her family. Ludicrous, and it was only I was talking with somebody who knows her.
And outside of this whole show business, so they look at her like the black sheep. Like, what are you doing? Quite literally,
her father's estate just got sold there in recent times. Yeah. And I don't know how many children there are, but it doesn't matter how many children there were because over 100 million just got split. 114 million got split between them.
That's a lot of bread.
That's a lot of.
That's a lot of puppets.
That's a lot of puppets. She can
buy a lot of when she can actually fill the Cork Opera House with all her new puppets.
Yeah.
She can perform like to that same silence that you walked out to for a whole hour.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, look, she was all right. Like, but I mean, But what I was saying is that when I saw the puppet thing, I was like, Jack can do that better.
Oh well, thanks very much.
Yeah, Jack can do that better.
Massive compliment.
But people had enough of her and the fucking puppets after. Do you know?
You put that so Irish. People had
enough of you and your fucking puppets.
People had enough of her.
I didn't mean it to sound like that, honestly. I didn't. But it was a fella quite literally said it to me. The following week, I was doing upstairs in the Bankers, and a guy came up with another chap who's a comedian. He was, oh jeez, I saw you last weekend, and he was Corkful. He says, you know, for all my fucking puppets. And he was like, I said, what did you think you were coming to see? Well, I thought I'd stand up. I thought she'd do a bit of the puppets and then stand up for the rest of it. But the puppets were out for an inordinate amount of time. Like.
Of course they were.
And I was like...
Because she was in really bad mood.
Yeah.
So her puppets are like therapy.
Yeah, there was...
It's like a schizophrenic sort of...
Like the crack had gone out of the jaw moving mask because she did it with like 2 or 3 people. And it went on, and I was like, gone into 25 minutes of this.
Okay.
You're like, okay, this should be a segment of your show, not the show. Like,
are you selling the masks after?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're pitching the wares. Funny you say about the bit at the beginning with the guy freezing, because I only found out recently the theory behind stage fright.
Yeah, go on.
Now, this is an interesting one. Okay, if you talk about supposedly there's certain inherent things we're scared of. Snakes.
Right.
Heights. It's like when you say heights, it's like dropping, falling.
Yeah.
Kids realise that they're scared of. They understand that concept. It's one of the reasons you look behind you before you sit down. It's bred into you.
Right, yeah.
It's like an evolution thing. And apparently, Serengeti, if you can imagine yourself on the Serengeti plain, if all eyes fall on you, if 150, 200 eyes fall on you, you're in serious shit. You're in big trouble. You're a dinner. And that's where stage fright comes from.
Really?
Which is an interesting thing. It's all everybody looking at you.
I love that.
Same here, yeah, because it's like, well, that's one. It's also one of the reasons that if a man walks across the room to ask a girl to dance, it's because the reason you get nervous is because you're approaching a woman, you don't know what the social dynamics are, and somebody back on the Serengeti plain would have beaten your head with a rock, as in that's my woman. You know, but that's another reason that men have that nerves of walking. It's inbred into you, supposedly.
Wow.
But it makes sense. I mean, certainly all eyes on you.
Yeah,
that's something where you can kind of go, right, well, all eyes fall on you, you're the prey. It's like something bad's going to happen. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, because I did a best man speech, and I remember I was nervous, and even though I'm experienced in talking in front of people and performing, I was still like, well, this is different, man. I'm out of my environment here.
Of course you are, and
and I entertain at weddings. I entertain, it's like, so that was an interesting little tidbit.
I love
fact.
I love little facts.
That's it.
Like, but that's it. I love that genetic
The
shit.
buckshot
Like,
fact of the day.
There you go. We should have one for everyone, but not
Yeah.
everybody's as knowledgeable as you, though.
Oh, well, thank you.
Because you have to put a fair bit. Like, you can't Mickey Mouse what you're doing. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, when tricks go wrong on stage, it's not like a joke. It's like, well, you can move on, but it's
No.
not as easy.
No.
It's not as easy.
No, because if a joke goes to bed, shits to bed, it's like, well, that shit to bed, and everybody's like, it shit to bed. Now bring out some good stuff. But I can imagine with a fucking, oh man,
It's not. It's like when it goes, if it does. But like, I think that the difference is the amateur magicians say an amateur practices till they get it right. A professional gets it till they can't get it wrong.
okay, Jesus
That's the
Christ, that is quote of the day.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. And I think it's the same with comedians. It's like you hone your stuff in smaller clubs where the expectations are, even the audience understand, it's like, we didn't even pay in, or we paid a very minimal sum in. It's like, okay, the headline is going to be good. The other guys are getting up and they'll even tell you, it's like, we're trying stuff. And then you gather the pieces, the bits, the business that you're going to go. Well, in variety, you see, there's a bit of business. It's like you'd never call it that in comedy.
No,
you don't call it. But the bits that work, the pieces you've written that you gotta go, this nails it. And then you formulate your act with your stronger material, you try out new stuff when you've got the confidence.
Of course, yeah.
After you've got your set.
And that's the thing, like, I mean, I hear people talking about, great comedians and all the rest, and I go, but, the fucking audience were just shit for him last night. I'm like, no, because, and I put it down to the analogy of any fucking tradesman. He's not, if he goes in and goes, I'm going to plaster that wall. Listen, I just wasn't feeling it today.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, okay, there are mitigating factors. The weather might be against him or whatever. That can't be avoided. But it's the same in a comedy club. You're going in, if there's fucking people there sitting in chairs, do something with them if you're the headliner act. Well, you better be able to do something with them.
It's like you said there just a moment ago about that walk out onto the Cork Opera House where you addressed the situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the main things. It's like you kind of know, somebody who's walked the board because anything that happens, they address.
Yeah.
And let the audience know, because once the audience know, I think there's that immediate discomfort where the audience are looking at you. Okay, they're deciding, do I like him? Is he confident? And if you're not confident, man, or if that begins to spiral, you fall into that catch-22 situation where they see you not being confident, or something has eroded your confidence, and they look at you, and then that makes you go shit.
Yeah.
And your confidence drops again, and it becomes this thing where it's almost a comedian who's
you're hitting every scaffolding board on the way
down.
Well,
when you walk in and you look around the room and you go, okay, these guys, they haven't got great English. Why are they in a comedy club where they don't speak English? It's like in the Woolshed. That's happened a number of times where you go in and it's a great room and it's a great club. It's a great club. But when you go in there, it's like I've done a few gigs in there, and you've got meetups. So it's people who are just like, they're looking to make new friends. Yeah. And they're sitting in silence at a table listening to comedians.
Yeah, because they obviously don't want to laugh at your dick jokes.
Yeah, they don't. And it's like, I think when you look at a comedian who's done their stuff, so I would agree with you. I think you can get a bad audience, but I also think that the responsibility lies on the shoulders of the performer, of course.
Totally does. Yeah. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. Look, there's back when I was middling, we'll say, and you're going, okay, I didn't have the mental maturity or the stage maturity how to deal with this scenario. But and also, I suppose as the headliner, if you're fucking smart, you'll watch what's playing out in front of you with the two more poor motherfuckers who are on before you. Yeah. And you'll go, oh right, I have a plan. I have a plan here for this scenario because I've seen it before. Yeah. Like I did what did we have described as a hell gig a couple of weeks ago at it was a holiday village. Like,
I'd love to hear. All performers talk about their great gigs.
You don't want to
but it's when your guy tells you about the really bad ones.
It was a hell gig, but I turned it around, and it's a very un-Irish thing to do. But I went in and absolutely fucking smashed it. Nice. Basically, and I would have 2 years ago. I would have fucking gone down the toilet, crashed, but burned. I wouldn't have known what to do with it. Yeah. But with this, it was actually great because I was at the level of exhaustion. I was at an hour 20 of my working day because I've been filming all day. Left Dublin at 4:30.
So you were tired as well when you turned.
But just that Zap was like, you're a professional. They are paying you to be here.
I have to earn money here now.
There's also something good when you're tired and you have that. But there's a German expression. It's a healthy measure of indifference. It's like when you walk in, and if they know this guy doesn't really care that much, and he's going hell for leather, they just let go and they go with you.
This is the thing. They were rough. They were rough. There's no two ways about it. And they were just, look, it was a holiday village. They'd just seen a boxing match. They'd been drinking. The show didn't kick off till like 10:30, 11:15.
Yeah.
It was a shit show. Like, and there was no dealing with it. The room was set up badly. The tables were sitting sideways at the fucking facing. Everything was against you. There was fucking some children in the room. There was like it was just, they were rough. There was a lot of rough people in the room. And I'd seen the two lads who just couldn't deal with it. They were trying to go through the motions. There was no use in material with these people. I went up. First thing I did, I remember I was wearing hiking boots because I'd been on set all day and mudding them and everything. I walked up and went, alright, shut the fuck up. We're getting into this and I'm not dealing with G cunts for the next 25 fucking minutes. If you're going to, what you fucking say? What you fucking say? And I went down with all tongue in cheek.
Yeah, and they got it.
Tongue in cheek. They went, this fella's a silly crazy man.
Yeah.
He's a silly crazy man.
Basically like herding cats.
Yeah.
You're there smacking with
Yeah,
sticks.
yeah. But not a very big stick. Just a stick that makes a lot of noise through the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going, oh, you fucker. You got me, you fucker. And it was actually, what was actually fantastic was that it was a wireless mic and a very good wireless mic. The sound system was very good. Anywhere you walked.
In you went.
So I went down into the fucking middle because of course there was a gap of like 15 feet between the first people, which can't work.
Yeah.
So I went down into the middle of them and just started kicking chairs in out of my way. Come to fuck with you. Fucking kill you. Shut up and tell them some fucking jokes. And they just thought, because it's such a silly thing to even say.
The image in my head is looking for a dog under a table.
Yeah.
Trying to get a small child.
Yeah, come to fuck with you.
Get out there, yeah.
And it's such a silly, if you think about what I actually said, shut up, I'm going to tell him some fucking jokes. It's the same anger
and, you laugh
and determination as a man who's, shut up, I'm going to be cutting your hair now in a minute. You know, it was,
yeah.
I'm going to put up that shelf, shut up to fuck, will you? It was the same thing, like, I have a job to be doing here now, I don't need G-cunts, you know. And it was the silliness of the angry man. And I worked out that it's an element of like 10% fear, the rest is, I kind of know a mad fucker like this, let's go with it. And then you can go into material. You can tie in bits of material. It'll never be like deluxe stuff because these people are not waiting for deluxe.
I love watching tourists when they see that attitude on stage.
I know.
No, when you see American or Canadian tourists,
scares
and
the shit out of them.
But they're just like, they look at it and they're going, it's a cultural, they're like, wow, it actually is like this.
Yeah. Well, my stuff is never self-deprecating anyway. It's just kind of shut up, shouty kind of stuff, you know. But it's
bark at them.
Yeah, bark at them.
Bark and gag.
But they get it because it's like, he is totally heading to crazy Uncle Tom Town. Like, you know what I mean? Because he'll be.
Did you ever do street? Did you ever do any festivals or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I've done kind of open air stuff and festivals, but it was. I don't know. I haven't done enough to be confident in saying I'm good at it, but I did enjoy it because I was totally out of my comfort zone. The old heart was racing a fair bit. Like,
I got thrown into that about a fella saw me I think it was in the Laughter Lounge, and the guys who run City Spectacular, which was the Street Performance World Championship, and
which by the way, you've how many times?
I won it once. I won it once in 2012,
right?
And that was great because it was a circuit I was never even aware of. I used to go and watch the festival in Merrion Square, and then the fella saw me in the Laughter Lounge. He said, "Look, we need Irish acts. Would you do it?" And I was like, "Jesus, I'm a corporate. I'm a comedy club. I'm a corporate guy." I was like, "I don't know about that." And he said, "Look, you could do it, and you can make good money." And so I went down to Galway with my little speaker, and I stood out there and humiliated myself.
Was it humiliating?
Well, it's humiliating in that, see, what comedians don't realise, and no, it's not even comedians, no performers realise is that you have to build a crowd.
Oh, of course.
You have to get them to stop.
You have to get them to
stop. And even now, I would say I haven't mastered it because I haven't done enough street. With festivals, you turn up, the crowd is there.
Yes, okay.
But you're doing a show outdoors and you're doing it under very different circumstances. And you meet, I've just met brilliant variety performers. I met a guy Victor Rubler, who can juggle 7 footballs. A friend of mine who goes under the name of Seb Whippet. He's a world class whip cracker. He can whip cigarettes out of your mouth. He can split cards in half. It's like Indiana Jones stuff. So I every year since then I've been hanging out with all these guys just doing festivals across Canada, because Canada, they know it's like Ireland with immigration. They just look at you and they go, what are you doing? Are you up to any mystery? No, you look all right to me. Come on in. Well,
Okay,
and that's
all
the
right.
same in Canada. Like when I pulled up the first time in Canada, they had their form. Do you have any weapons on board in your luggage? So I ticked yes, big metal sword. So I go up to immigration, and the guy just looks at me. And goes, you've got a weapon. What is the weapon? This is immigration in Canada, right? And I said, I'm a sword swallower, and then there's a big metal
And he
sword.
went, hello.
And he actually looked at me, and he just looked at me, and I said, is it a problem? And he goes, so I said, it's a big metal sword. It's about like 24 inches long. And he goes, I said, that problem? He goes, no, I've got a big metal gun. You're grand, and just stamp. And that was immigration.
I've got a big metal gun.
He said that back to me, and he
So
just grinned, welcome to Canada. And I
That was a
like,
cool way of
It
going,
was
but yeah,
very,
that's very cool. Yeah,
and he was very chilled out. And once he kind of, he had that diplomacy, which I think often Irish cops have, that you just don't see anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Except for, apparently, Canada, where they kind of read the situation really well. They don't overreact. They're not going to the lever of the law.
Yeah,
They look at
robotic like.
they just look at it and they go, it was like outside the Halfpenny. Listen to this now. This was at the Halfpenny Bridge Inn Comedy Club. And I'm running in. This is when Simon was running, and I was running in, and I parked up outside. Rory, Rory Campbell from Derry.
From Derry, yeah.
Great guy. And he had saved a space for me. I was coming down because he knew I was coming from another gig or something. Great guy. And I pulled in. He ran back inside to go on stage, and a cop sees me taking the sword out, and usually I put it in the bag. Yeah. I'm running straight into the club.
Okay.
And he just stops me and he goes, what are you doing with that? And I said, I'm going in, I'm doing a gig in there, I'm a sword swallower. And he just looked at me and I said, do you want to see? And he had a Vanguard, a trainee Vanguard.
Right.
The little blue stripes.
Yeah.
And I said, do you want to see? And he just said, he didn't even confirm. So I just took the sword out, licked it, and I started to swallow it. And the Vanguard pulls out a phone and starts videoing.
No.
And he turns and goes, put that fucking thing away. To her. Not to me with the sword. I swallow the sword, take it out, put it back into the sheath, and he just looks at me and goes, would you cover it? For God's sakes, cover it.
And to be fair.
And he was right, of course he was right, but it was just one of those wonderful Irish moments where you went, yeah, fair play.
And in fairness, you couldn't have said a more
She'd
weird
be
thing.
shot if it was in America.
Oh,
I'd taken out that sword, that would it, man. I would have been full of holes.
Like, you could have just been a mad fucker into cause carnage.
Yeah.
Like,
and
the fact
he read it perfectly. He
Yeah.
just looked and I went, I'm a sword swallower, I'm in there in the comedy club. And he was looking around and he saw the kind of sign outside the Halfpenny and he was like, oh yeah, all right. And I said, you're a sword swallower. I said, do you want to see?
Brilliant.
And
I love the fact that, even if the fact that you said there's only 2 or 3 in Ireland, so he'll never ever have come across that situation.
And he probably never
and
again,
he still read it well.
And he read it
still
perfectly.
read it well.
Yeah,
and went,
he read it perfectly.
Let's see it. Kind of a
He didn't care. He was like
good man.
He did care about her video, which was interesting.
That's cool. Yeah. Well,
put that thing away, but
if it's traced back to a cop on it.
Yeah, it doesn't look great, but it's like she was thinking Facebook. She was 20 something.
Yeah, of course.
And she was like, next post on Facebook or whatever.
Jesus H Christ.
Yeah.
And so when did the electronics finish? And you were like, all right, I'm giving this full holly. Or was it? Did you just migrate from?
I just kind of migrated.
Gigs just took over.
Yeah, the gigs took over, and I did everything. Like, I did everything. I did family shows. Like, if somebody I tell you what I make every year. May I can't turn them away. I get phone calls for communions, and they're usually in pubs, and they're usually working class audiences.
Have you done any traveller ones?
I've done traveller ones.
Have you?
I've done travellers, and the kids,
because
the little kids, they bless
they're
themselves.
quite animated,
and they bless themselves
because they think you're the devil.
Yeah, I did a show out in the Civic Theatre in Tallaght years ago, and it was families, old schools, but the corporation used to take. Was it the council? I don't know. They take the first few rows of the second show. There was 2 shows in a day. And all traveller children came in. So I get one kid out of the audience, right? And get the kid out, do a couple of tricks with him. Everybody's having a good time. And I give the kid a prize at the end. I go, there's a magic book for you. You can go home, mystify your mammy, bamboozle dad, con more pocket money out of granny. And he goes, I'll not be doing anything for daddy. It's like, oh, he's in prison. And I was like, you can see all the
all of a sudden you got very South Dublin, did you?
I said, well, you can mystify mummy and bamboozle your grandmother or something. She goes, I'll not be doing anything for granny either because she's dead. And I was like, okay, let's get you off the stage. This kid's bringing you on. But traveller kids, great. I always find that like you get the best crack out of. You get the best crack out of working class kids and traveller kids. They'll be mad, but great fun, great laugh.
They're into it, like.
I haven't done the Puck Fair yet. A few performers have said,
Well, do you know what
gotta
you
go
need
down.
to be?
I want to do the
Because
Puck Fair.
I had you down the book to ask you anyway, but I was in the ploughing championship last week.
Yeah.
You would fucking clean up.
Was it great?
It's the greatest expo you'll ever go to, for
wonderful.
one.
Okay.
It's so...
And do they have performers? Do they have guys just doing stuff on the flat, on the
They
grass?
have singers in their own yoke, but nobody... And
No performing area?
Nothing. They have stages and areas where the likes of... fucking T.R. Dallas will be singing, country, but they have some really good bands snuck into places then as well, like I was hosting the Bus Éireann tent, and every day they had fucking really, they had 2 trad bands 2 of the days, and then this gifted young fella, he's only like 17 from Selbridge, he had a lot of written stuff, he was just a very good singer,
Yeah.
but regardless, I would, I cannot see how you wouldn't work there.
Okay, great.
You would, because
Okay.
it's like, to give you an example, it's such a big expo.
Yeah.
It's and people think, oh, sure, it's all
You just
it's just
turn,
farmers.
It's just
It's not
rinse and repeat audiences all day long.
all day long,
Yeah,
like,
great.
and they will be over to you like oh my
Flies, yeah,
god,
cool.
and it's like, to give you an example. My wife went missing when I went on stage because, do you mind if I went? Yeah, Jesus, you don't have to watch me doing this shit. So off she went, and she got lost for 4 hours just in the homeopathy fucking part of the Ploughing Championship.
Cool.
That'll give you an example of what I'm talking
How
about.
large this thing
How
is.
large this is. Anybody
Oh man, I'm going to
who's
apply. I'll put it
anybody
in.
who's anybody is there.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? If you got wares to sell, and I'm not joking with you, I mean, even if you're roving, or if you have a small fucking tent, or a small stand, whichever one you would go to, you're going to make coin.
Okay.
I mean, you could go the handy route and just get onto the PR agencies.
And
Because
just
all
get
the big
them
PR
put in
agencies
there.
are
Okay.
tied in with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I've done a lot. I've done a lot of them. I've done the Festival of Fools up in Belfast. I've done the ones in Dublin. I just did Dun Chocolate Festival at the weekend. Their Harvest Festival, great. Like just a load of people sitting on bales of hay,
Class.
and I'm just there with the big ass speaker, and they just said, "Look, do whatever you like," and it was just fun.
Yeah.
Crack.
Oh, you would.
And it's like you've got kids, you've got adults, the whole lot. You just kind of tailor the show accordingly.
This would, because you have 100,000 people a day
Okay, cool.
in one.
Oh, so
I'm guessing the whole thing is typically on about 1,000 acres, but that's the car parking and everything. So really, I'm going to wager it's on.
it sounds like the Spectrum. I did a shows over in Halifax at their busking festival. It's running 30 years, so
Right.
you get like 3 generations. Like I even asked the audience. I said, "Okay, who's here with their kids who used to come to this festival themselves with their parents?" And the hands all went up. And you're talking about 3/4 of the audience. And I was like, "Okay, who's a grandparent who's here with their kids and their grandkids?"
Wow.
And hands went up. It's just like it's just
Same thing
it's
as
a thing.
this.
It's a thing. Yeah,
This
it's like
is
St. Patrick's
running
Day.
80 years.
So it's the
You know,
same
it's very
difference.
same
Every
yeah,
year
yeah.
you go. But you just get these huge, big ass audiences of 700, 1,000 people, and they're just gathered around you.
Yeah.
And they're just there. You just put down a rope. You literally put
Oh,
a rope
yeah,
down,
yeah,
and the audience just seep up, sit. They know what to do, and it's like the crack. It's great.
Anybody I talked to that had anything to do with it, like one chap now, he's an entertainment company.
Yeah.
Kevin Rowe. You know Kevin Rowe events? They do a lot of those Strictly Come Dancings and all those
I don't,
lip sync
no.
things.
No.
He just had a little tent there right beside UL had a little
Yeah.
station, and he's like, Jesus Christ, just straight away.
Who owns it? Who's making the money?
One old lady.
You're joking.
She's in her 90s and she still runs it with a fucking fist of iron. And she's still like, this is. I'm
and
talking.
she owns it, so she's making all the money from all of those people paying for their space or whatever.
You see,
it is.
she claims that it's a labour of love, and that she breaks even every year. No.
She
But
breaks even just from the homeopathy section.
Everybody is happy to just nod along with it. Like,
Yeah.
but the whole family, it's like Don
They're
Corleone.
too scared not to.
The whole family work for her. But the reason why it runs like slick and it has never been ruined,
You
it's
don't
just
mess
getting
with it.
bigger, but still has
Yeah.
the vibe. It's very professional. There's those metal tracks running everywhere,
But
so you
it's
don't
local.
get dirty.
You have that feeling.
You have a feeling of local, but when you stand back and look at it like this, like there's €1 billion of machinery just sitting on the ground here. Like,
Yeah, cool.
But you can still hear her over the tannoy,
okay.
given
so
the odd
she's there
announcement.
giving it all.
and you're like, what a legend!
Yeah.
What a legend! Like,
And did you meet her? Is she a nice
no,
woman?
I've never met her. No. I've just heard her on the radio and stuff, and
So
she
she's like a
she cuts with a fucking
multi-squillionaire
hatchet,
for
yeah.
this.
She
Every
makes out
year.
she's not, like, you know, but, and there is a lot of money put back into it. I will say they don't skimp on anything. Like,
I love it.
do you know what I mean? There's, like, they just don't skimp on anything. But it's by all accounts, I would imagine. But the insurance is everything else. They're doing very well out. There's a few mil a year for sure being made. And she's good with cash, apparently.
I bet she is.
Apparently, like,
of course she is.
It's a different story.
She has to be sure. She's barely scraping by.
Very poor old dear. Poor old dear. She still has to work into her 90s, sure. But you'd love it. You'd fucking love it because there's an honesty in, you know yourself, you dealt with there's an honesty in, because you're going to get regular Joes like you and me who have seen stuff and been out and about, and then you're going to get folks who have just come out of the parts of the country and they never see anything, and this is their time out. This is their day out. And they'll rent a hotel room nearby and they'll fucking get 2 days at this looking at all the latest shit and shit they love.
Well, I love the science of a crowd. It's like when you sit an audience down at a festival, it's like, well, how do I, particularly at busking festivals, it's like, how do we get, and myself and the other performers sit and talk about it. It's like, how do you maximize your hat? It's like, how do you get the most money?
Yes, yeah.
It's like, I even say to the audience, I say, well, look, when's the last time? This is it's the most honest form of entertainment in the world because you pay afterwards. Like, where'd you walk into the cinema and say, look, do you mind if I pay on the way out?
And what
In
I
case
feel
it's
it's worth.
crap.
Yeah.
In case I just prefer, if you don't mind. So I even say that to them at the beginning. So I say to them, I say, if you want, like, if I do a good show, it's like, well, $5-10. They say, are you happy with that? I say, no, it's up to me. And you can see the audience going, they're actually nodding, going, oh, okay.
Fair.
Now they've committed. And it's like, now there's a verbal contract almost.
Yeah.
Just by saying that, brought up the hat by about 25%.
Really?
Yeah, because they've actually
makes
agreed.
sense.
You don't walk off. And it's like, well, at the end, if I'm going to swallow a sword, I'm going to make somebody into a living, breathing puppet, and I'm going to make your phone vanish after smashing it up, and it's going to appear inside the teddy bear over there. And I say, well, if I do that, I say, $5, yeah? Everybody happy with that? And I look at the audience, I say, oh, you're not looking at me like I better deliver, so I'll get on with it. Yep. And once they give that
Brilliant.
nod, then hat went up 20. But it took 10 years to figure that out.
Of course,
It takes 10 years before you actually kind of go, why are people... Because some people just go, oh, yeah, that was fun. And it's like, well, there's a big crowd around them, give me money. Well, so look, I'm not waiting.
Yeah.
But once you get that commitment... There's like loads of little tricks like that you kind of learn along the way. It's not even tricks; it's the psychology.
Yes, yeah. Because I've done Edinburgh, obviously, and the same thing, you know. And
how did you find Edinburgh? I haven't done Edinburgh because do you know what? I know it's like it's a hard graft. It's a hard graft.
Listen, I did it 3 years of varying lengths, and I did, but it's like the first 2 years I was like, yes, I absolutely need this because it's like you do your own 20 odd shows. And then on top of that, you're doing loads of compilation shows and little shows where you're doing 10, 15-minute spots to promote your own one. So, like, you come away technically having done fucking, like, in the space of a month, doing 60-odd shows.
Yeah, so what a
More.
That's great.
And so you come back, like, you jumped 2-3 years in the future. Like, you know what I mean? And then, but the last time I was going, I was like, this is not benefiting me at all. I'm where I need to be already. I'm probably ahead where I had on my plan.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing a product to a place where there's fucking 2,000 other fuckers bringing the same product.
Yeah.
Business-wise, this is the worst idea ever. And this year I totally stayed behind. And
You're not sorry.
I had the best month I've had since taking up comedy.
Yeah.
In August.
Yeah.
Whether it was just landing contracts, which meant I had to be in the country to do it.
Great.
You know what I mean? And it just... It reaffirmed with me. I'll go again because I love the whole idea of it.
Yeah.
But I'll only do like 4 or 5 days. You know what I mean?
And that'll be it.
Jumping around.
But it's like I've seen guys like I tell you, Dave McSavage would make money out because he can go out. He'll go out. He'll do a show and there's a guy who's like a master. I don't know how much street show. I don't see him doing street stuff anymore.
No, he doesn't. No,
I was so glad I saw him doing it because he was just really good at it.
Yeah.
His improv of when people are walking by and it's just like.
But it's his style too.
Yeah,
like, giving people shit.
Yeah.
Like, and he can buy his way because he already like McSavage is a great look naturally anyway.
Yeah.
Because if he's giving you shit,
it's
you're like,
full on.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
You're a giant big tall fellow with a big beak, and what are you talking about? Like, so it's humorous, you know what I mean? Like,
and he can take it as well.
Oh, he can take it. Like, he can take it. Like,
yeah.
And he's got the guitar and he's twanging away, and it's just it's
and
the
if you
whole
made
package.
a cutting remark, he's actually the kind of dude who'd sit and think about it afterwards and go, Fair enough. Or he'd bring it up
Yeah.
next time. You're wrong. You know.
Yeah. He's like, I have a good time for McSavage. All right, like he's a cantankerous old bastard, and I kind of like him for that. Like, you know, there's an underlying fucking angriness to him. Like, but I get great humor out of the fucker because he's just so sour sometimes.
He was going out to a gig. I don't know where it was. I think it was Limerick or somewhere. And I was driving. And this is just McSavage. I think we were going, I don't know, where was it? We were going through Ennis or somewhere, I don't know. But anyway, there was a clanking sound coming from the car.
Okay.
And it wasn't bothering me that much. The car at the time was like pretty much near the end of it.
Right.
But Dave was like, what's that noise? You can see him like, I don't know, Dave, don't be weird. And we were just talking, just business, showbiz, you know. And he's like, what's that noise? And we're starting to go through town. And David throws open the door. And it's leaning out the car going, Jack, pull in, I think I can fix this. I can't even do his voice in the moment. He said, pull in, I think I can fix. And I said, close the door.
McSavage the mechanic.
Yeah, close the door. And then he's leaning with the guitar across his back outside the venue. Underneath, I'm like, let's do the gig, Dave. Let's just do the gig. But it was just so wonderfully Dave, you know. It was great.
Good Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, the fact that he'd give it a fucking go, like but I remember some of his street performances. It was great for promoting.
Yeah.
What was going to go on, like, you know what I mean. He had it down to fucking fine art, like, you know. Plus he's big and tall too, so you'd see him from a distance away, like, you know. The full package kind of works there for him, like.
Well, if they see you doing a street show and they like the street show, and you're selling on the back of that, he makes a few quid. Or let's say anybody, if you can do a street show and they're going, well, this is a taster for the show tonight, you've sold them on it.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like you just did it in 3D. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you've done, as you said, you've done communions, and you do a fair few weddings as well, don't you?
Oh, I do more. Look, most of it's corporate weddings, comedy clubs. I'll do a show anywhere there are people. I don't care, man. I love that. You say to me, there's 20 people upstairs, go up and do a gig now. I'll do that. I swear, and I can do it. And I can do it. I know I can do it.
That's
because I've gone through I've just done everything. It's like trial by fire. At points in my life, I've been so money hungry in my 20s that somebody would say, look, we have this real rugby event. I did stuff for all the guys in the Guinness estate. You know, all the people who were housed by Guinness.
Is that Crumlin? No,
that was it was actually in the Guinness storehouse, but they're all people and they were well into their 80s. All of them. And I went in and they were like, will you do a gig for them? I was like, yeah.
Where did you do the gig for them? Did they bring them
in the Guinness storehouse they have it, but it's all the Guinness tenants who've had houses, they've had the tenancies on all those small red bricks.
Wow.
And it was such a weird gig. It was such a weird gig. I've done, like, I did gigs on the executive train down to Killarney. And I'd go and I'd do a gig on trains. I've done them on tour buses as well for stockbrokers. They flow a load of UK stockbrokers, and they were bringing them from, I don't know, they were bringing them from a golf thing, and they said, look, we want something, it's almost an hour. And I was like,
heaven forbid, like,
and I was like, well, look,
hour.
I'll do something in the golf club before. He goes, could you do it on the bus? So I was like, and I said, well, pay me more. And I had to sort of think, and it's like, how do you even prop yourself up on a bus?
Not swallowing the fucking sword on a bus.
I didn't do it, no, but I got the guy up and I did the mask on one dude. I made him turn around on the seat and do it to a guy at the front and do the mask the entire back of the bus over the little microphone that your tour guide.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
Stuff like that. It's like, but I purpose built it. There was a magician called Billy McComb, who was a Belfast-born magician at probably the turn of the century. He would have been, if he was still alive, he'd be the same age as your granddad probably.
Right.
Actually. But I met Billy McComb when he was alive and well in his 70s, and well into his 70s. He opened for an act when he was 82. He was still playing, and he was the opening act for Amazing Jonathan, who's an outrageous magic comedian, just outrageous. But anyway, I won't talk about him. I'll just talk about Billy. The curtains would come back. It's a Vegas show, and out comes this man who looks every day of 82. And he just look at the audience and go, I know what you're thinking. Who is this old fart? First titter of laughter from the audience. He goes, well, I'll make it fast because it's rice pudding night at the home. And it just kept going like that.
Yeah.
He just everything this guy had a line for. And his magic was good. It was visual. And I remember seeing him when I was like maybe 19, 20, and I went, this guy's God. I said, he's everything all the other magicians I hate. He's everything that they're not.
Yeah.
As in, he just walked on and he was just funny and everybody in the place. And my definition of showmanship, stage charisma, is that the women in the audience would probably want to have a dalliance with you.
Okay.
The guys would want to have a pint. So you look at Tom Jones,
Yeah.
Robbie
Yeah.
Williams. May not be the most talented singer in the world, but every lad is going, yeah,
He'd be some crack.
he'd be, and all the girls are going, yeah,
I'd write him.
yeah, I'd write him.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a good definition of, I think, of showmanship for me. But Billy had it that everybody, well, maybe some birds are looking at him, not in his 80s, a big chicken turkey neck on him, and sort of mouldy mothball smell. But it was funny because when he was over in Ireland, he was doing a show down in what would be at St. Anthony's Theatre. It's down on the Quays, you know, there. It's down. I think maybe it's closed down now, but
Sounds very familiar.
yeah,
anyway,
he was doing a show down there, and he asked me would I give him a lift back to his hotel. So I'm giving him a lift back, and he's telling me, give me all kinds of advice, and he said, make sure he just random would come out with these random bits of advice. He'd go, make sure your show fits in the overhead compartment of a plane, and then he'd stop talking, so he'd just drop out these things. He'd go, if you're ever, he'd just come out with magic. If the power goes off in the hotel and you can't see where you're going, hold both hands in front of you, but touch your thumbs together so nothing will hit your face as you find your way around. And then he'd stop, and I'd be like going, and you'd just be like, okay, but his advice about making sure everything fits in the overhead compartment of a plane, my show, except for the sword, obviously, everything just fits. So I can kind of go anywhere. I can do it any English-speaking country in the world. And now, is that fell after falling down the stairs? I said, by the way, for the benefit of the listeners, this is in the basement of the
It's
International.
always in the basement. They understand at this stage.
When I came in here, I was expecting a mask with, forget a ventriloquist mask. I was expecting a mask with the old pool ball.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like a scene from Pulp Fiction or something in here.
It was going to happen, honestly. I had the duct tape out, but in fairness, you had a cup of tea. I didn't want to ruin your shorts. Don't spill the tea,
tape.
you know.
Well, that was Billy McCommon on the way getting back. See, I go off on tangents.
That's fine.
Billy was going down, was giving a lift down to the hotel. He just turned to me and goes, where would you find a lady of negotiable affections? And I was like,
what time in the morning was this?
This is like, I was 20 at the time. It's bringing back about, this was the night before the show.
Right.
And I'm like, what? I said, well, probably Leeson Street would, I suppose, on Leeson Street. And this is 20 years ago. Well, that's what I thought. So I got out and I just got home. And I rang one of my mates and said, Billy's looking to find out where there's hookers.
Yeah.
Right? And it turns out it was for jokes the next day. He needs to know the reference.
Okay,
but
right.
for a full 24 hours, I was kind of going, that old fart's is off knocking.
Like, I mean, there had to be an element of respecting it too. You're going,
yeah, he's doing his work.
Still looking for a jump like it at 82.
But he just wanted to find out for his gags the next day. You know?
Right, where the red light district.
The red light district was in Dublin. But for me, I was like, for 24 hours, I was telling everybody, which I don't think he ever found out, that he's off riding hookers. You know. So, yeah, he was an interesting guy.
Really.
He used to open in strip clubs, and he'd open. I mean, who wants to see a magician before a stripper?
Oh.
Yeah, but he used to pull. He'd make it work, you know. He'd make it work.
He'd pull it off.
I was about to say.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. And I couldn't let it go because the audience are going, why didn't he say pull it off? Come on.
He was a character, and he probably my greatest. Who's your greatest influence in the performing? Yeah, well, in the performing world.
Do you know when I watched
Alive or Dead? Or Alive and Dead.
I really like the guy he played his other character was Les Patterson. He played Dame
Edna.
Dame Edna.
Oh,
but his other character when he played
brilliant.
the politician.
Yeah.
And people kind of had it a throwaway that it was all a bit of a mess and stuff, and people they went, oh well, he was a bit offensive, wasn't he? And you're like, no, I understand his point was to be a little offensive, but watch him closely. And knowing what we know, you're going, watch him close. Just there's a joke on top of a joke on top, and nobody had done it before. This is the thing, like it's been done a million times since, and people have definitely skilled.
But he was an absolute expert.
Oh my god, and he's still acting. Like.
Yeah.
But just no worries, yeah. And he'd sit back with the fag sticking out, and he'd make it look sloppy, and then all of a sudden, I remember there was this one he was on. What's his name? Fucking Parkinson. And there was a lady on, and there was two other people on, sitting there, and he brought him out, and one was, all right, bit of toddy, you know, and he's sitting there, and he's like, no worries, love, how are you? And he must have had his hand in his pocket, but he had like a fucking rolling pin down his left trouser inside, and he's like, alright? And like this bigger giant erection just comes up out of nowhere, and it's slowly but surely it's just because he's got baggy trousers on, and it's just this big raging horn, and he's still talking, and he's still talking about politics and slopping wine all over the place, but he give her a look every so often, and the trousers are just getting bigger, and you're going like, that's just
brilliant.
That joke wasn't needed.
Yeah.
Because you're already being really funny.
I love it.
And what I loved was he was fucking relentless. It wasn't that he'd go, there's a Jack. It was just, like, to the point you knew the audience were struggling for breath.
Yeah.
He wasn't going for applause breaks or waiting for anything or looking at him like, how awesome was that? He just, for that 10-15 minutes he'd be on, he'd want you to actually come away with some sort of fucking medical problem afterwards.
Wonderful.
Like, I love that level. And the first comedian that I ever used to watch, we had BBC when we were small. I don't know how, but we had BBC. And I remember Jack D used to be live at the Apollo. And the Apollo was an underground fucking comedy club, not much bigger than this, but it was on BBC. He gave Lee Evans his break. And he'd give comedians their break. Yeah. And he himself was probably only in his 20s, late 20s, early 30s anyway, but he had this angry deadpan.
Do you know about Jack T? Did you ever? Because he started out, he was like full of life. He'd come out on stage. I'm sorry to cut in.
Yeah, no, go for it.
He'd come out on stage, and it just wasn't working for him. And apparently, and if you listen, you can. There's a really good podcast interview with him where he talks about. He just walked out one day and he was just pissed off. He was so pissed off. He was ready to throw in the towel, and he just was deadpan in his material, and it started to work. And that's how he got that performing character.
Right? Yeah, that makes sense.
And he was that close. He said he'd come out with all his energy and everything, like all the other. And then he said it just didn't. The audience just didn't go with him on it. And then one day he came out, just pissed off at them.
You bunch of fuckers.
And that was it. And that was Jack D. Jack D. got his.
Yeah.
His thing.
And I didn't know what I was looking at age 7, 8, 9, 10.
Go back to the Apollo there, because you were saying that Jack D. gave them all there.
Yeah, he gave so many acts the first crack, like, and it's like. And he was an established actor at that stage, but the likes of Lee Evans, which he went on to joke about going, yeah, fucker never paid me back, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. He rocks the O2 for 10 nights in a row or whatever, like, but it's, like, I mean, he made his money, like, no doubt, but it was the fact that he there's nothing like that nowadays. It seems, he was producing the show as well, so he could have been, no, I'll just have me on stage, because he'd have a bit of music as well. So he'd have music, a stand-up act come on and do a hard 7, a fucking animalistic 7.
Yeah.
And he'd be back on, then close out the show. So he'd do a total each week of probably 20 to 30 minutes of stand-up.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of stand-up turn out every week, like, you know. And I remember thinking, this is the most amazing shit. I don't know what it is I'm looking at. Because
a machine.
That's clearly in England, and that's a thing that happens.
Yeah.
I had no concept that was, but I remember being just fucking fascinated. So that was definitely the first comedian that I went, and the fact that he can do that and just rock a place, like, and make us all howl at home. And we're children, we probably don't get most of it.
Remember Billy Connolly as well. For me. Brilliant.
Phenomenal, like. Phenomenal.
The old stuff was just so good. It was just.
We went
and
to
Eddie Murphy as well, delirious and raw.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But I mean, that's an embarrassment of riches when you're talking about 21 and stuff. You know, fuck off. Like, you're doing an arena, like.
And Richard Pryor as well. And do you know who else I watched recently was I sat down and I watched give me his name there, Bill Cosby's stand-up show.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed when I saw everything unfolding.
Yeah.
But when I looked at his, have you watched his stand-up show?
Amazing. Amazing. And able to keep it clean, like.
Keep it clean, and for the first, I don't know, that opening section where he's just acting, and and he's not even, it's the amount of laughs and so few words.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever, like, I would imagine, like, in recent years, and he died, unfortunately, 2 years ago, with Bernie Mac.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, my
Bernie Mac was great.
He had this look of psycho energy.
Bernie Mac show, I used to watch that. Just great.
But this look of, like, he had that old school, like, I'll fucking clatter. And I think probably that's where, I'd probably go to Bernie Mac town in a place like that fucking holiday village I was in, like. So I don't give a fuck about any. He has this bit, and it might be, I don't know what's going on. I'm still confused to this day as to what's going on, but it's the blackest audience you've ever seen. They're so excited. It's Def Jam. And he's brought on stage by Martin Lawrence. And he comes on, it's like the 90s ridiculous trousers, you know what I mean? Flat top haircut. Yeah. And he opens up.
Oh, I had a flat top.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, the guy got the brush out with the little, he got that comb, which is almost 80, and with a spirit level on it, and he did my flat top. And I have a head like a shoebox anyway, so nobody even realised that I had a flat top. They were just, there's Jack. Jack's after combing his hair. He combed it, and it's gone round the corners of his big shoebox head. That's Jack and his magic
They're
shoebox.
Aztec cubes with less 90 degrees on them. Like.
Yeah, that's it. Look at it. Look at the size of this.
Yeah, like Asher, I have a very strange mallet myself. I've shaved it a few times, like, and it's like, oh god, there's dents all over. It's just gammy, like it's all over. Some
Yeah,
people
it's
have amazing heads.
Platelet movements, you know.
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it
Oh,
looks
there's
like,
tectonic.
Tectonic, yeah,
We're passing
exactly.
right under the San Andreas Falls, halfway up my head. Like it's, I'd be San Francisco is up the side.
A head like the M50,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Right.
pretty much. Like, but there's a bit you should look at it. It's Bernie Mac, Def Jam, and I don't know what's going on. But he walks out and they're all going fucking bananas for him. He walks out and he's like, I'm scared of you motherfuckers.
Great.
Kick it.
Yeah, great.
And just he had a DJ would kick in then and just play some bit for like 10 seconds and he'd do kind of a bit of a shuffle of a dance.
Yeah.
And they'd lose their mind. Then it would just stop. And he'd do some bit about how big his dick was. And then he'd go, I'm scared of you motherfuckers. You don't even know. Kick it. And he'd go back to music.
It's called back.
And he's just kept on going back to that. And it must be from something he had done previous, would say.
Yeah.
It must be.
Yeah.
Because they all knew. But they were hanging out of the fucking rafters for the man. And you're going, if you could get 1/10 of that kind of power.
But there's something about being black and of that era.
Oh,
You have-
totally. Yeah,
your,
yeah.
Your street cred, your coolometer has like, it goes up to 15. Average white man maybe hits an 8.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a license to be, you're kind of giving it at birth. It's like
oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
your cool card. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, as you said, of the era too. Like, I mean, it's kind of wearing off now. Where like black lads and whatever starting in America now, they can't go straight into. Isn't it funny how what white people do?
Yeah,
they can't do it now
It's
because
just boring.
yeah. Well, the pictures
And they don't have the experience either. You're looking going, you don't know what you're talking about.
No. It's an odd one. And have you like? Because I mean, I've seen you fucking destroy. You're in the Laughter Lounge this weekend as well.
I am.
Because this will come out Friday morning, so people you'll see him tonight or tomorrow night if you're in Dublin.
Absolutely.
What has, I know you probably, well, you can't name names or name places, but surely, by God, you've seen some strange ones, especially at the likes of weddings and stuff like that, have you?
I was doing close-up magic, which I've done for like 20 years, where you're walking around the room, but I mess. It's like, I can't do it seriously. I can't go up and
That was what
read
that
your
fellow
mind.
was.
Like, I tell people I'm going to read your mind, I'm only getting 2 words. One of them is off from everybody at the table. And, do that for a woman in their 60s, and they're all
Right.
sitting there, and they already know. They kind of go, yeah. Even when I walk up to the table, I say, I'm the magician here. Oh, you look delighted to see me, to people. Because they're just like, who's this guy?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
So once you start messing with them, it's a different ballgame. But I was at a wedding one time, and crazy things I saw. A couple went missing. They were all looking because they were all seated.
Is the newly married
And I'd
couple?
done no, just a couple because there
Okay.
was 2, and there was a couple missing. And next thing they were all like, look, and then no, I can't tell you where it was actually because it's not.
Yeah, it'll give it away.
They opened. There was a door. It was like real old school in this big. They had these 2 double doors with frosted glass, and all the coats were in there.
Right.
Well, the couple were caught in coaches. They were in the actual coats inside.
Wow.
They were just locked. But it was like at a wedding. It's
Going
like talk
hammer.
about ruining a wedding. I've done other things at family.
Ruining coats.
Ruining coats as well. Forget about ruining the wedding. You ruined my coat.
That'd be my first thought. Going, oh,
You ruined my coat.
lads,
It's like,
that's my
I
coat.
want €15 for dry cleaning, but that's not going to. And a wire brush to get that out. What? I remember I did a family show one time, and this was the weirdest gig. It must have been the strangest gig. Yeah, it was. I'm going to put it out there. So I'm getting set up, and all the kids are in the room, and the family, and the mother said, "Oh, look, we'll go inside into the kitchen. The kids can go outside, and just while you get the show set up." So there's a lot of adults, a lot of kids there. I mean, it's some family event, like maybe a communion or something. So, and there's one kid over there, and I'm bringing stuff in from the car, little PA, and getting the show set up. And there's this one kid, and I go in, and I come back into the room, and he's taking out the DVDs out of the boxes and putting them down the front of his pants. So now hang on. Firstly, for his cleverness that he took the stuff out of the boxes, so he realised I can't get a box. He was about 8. I can't get the boxes out of here, but the DVDs, I could probably get about 10 of them into my underpants. So I'm standing there going, they're going to think I robbed these. I said, I can't have this, and I'm not dealing with it. So I walked straight into the parents. I said, we've got an issue. We've got an issue. There's a kid in there robbing you blind and putting stuff in your DVD collection down the front of his case. Right. And the mother looked at me twice, and I said, look, I'm not dealing with this as the family entertainer. I'm not going in and demanding anything from a child who
or
has
from a child's pants.
From a child's pants, exactly. So I said, and her sister, the woman's sister, who was, I'm not going to, she may have been about 38. She was obviously that sister who never met a man and was really angry about it. So
wine o'clock was continuous in our house.
She just went straight in. And the kid is standing there, and you can see the circle shape in the front of his tracksuit. Because they'd all come from school, so they're wearing these uniform tracksuits. You can see the circular shape of these DVDs. And she goes, you have something belonging to us. And the kid's going, no, I don't. And he goes, you have things belonging to us. No, I don't. And then she lost it, and she started reaching down the kid's pants and grabbing the DVDs out. And I was like, whoa. I was like, oh my God. So I decided, I was laughing, but I was also, and the kid's going, I'm telling the police and stuff like that, right? And
you're thinking,
it was just so weird.
It
was just so weird, and I had to do a show after this, so I was trying not to laugh, and I was also sort of partially shocked by the whole thing. And afterwards, now, I was standing there, I was looking at all the DVDs, and I was, oh look, they've got all the Sopranos, and it did occur to me that I could steal them, and they think it was the kid. But I'm an honest man, so of course I did. But I was thinking, I could take all of the Sopranos, and then they think, little Jimmy got away with it. He got away with some, but it was just the weirdest buzz. And interestingly, for that period of time in my kind of 20s, when I was doing loads of family shows, which was kind of preparing me for doing, I wasn't on stage doing stand-up at the time, and I certainly wasn't doing any festivals. It was if you can entertain kids, if you can entertain families, you can entertain anybody.
I can,
you really can.
Oh, good Christ.
And it teaches you timing as well. It's one of those things, because kids react to timing. It's like slapstick. Kids react to anything slapstick, anything like that. They get it straight away. And kids love violence. It's like, why does Punch and Judy exist 700 years on? It's like, because kids like things. They love violence.
Kids beating the shit out of each other.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. But there's loads of things. There was a thing I used to do. There was a drawing board. I never put together a presentation for comedy clubs. I might get it out and work. It's a drawing board, and you draw a face on it.
Okay.
And the audience see you drawing the face on it. And next thing, the drawing animates. The eyes begin to move. It's mechanical.
Okay.
And you can, via ventriloquism, you're pushing a lever at the back of it. Look, and the mouth opens on the drawing. It's a stunning bit of magic.
Okay.
Even the adults go, oh. Well, anyway, I was doing a show for a family, and I don't know where it was, and there was everybody in the room, but it was a working class, maybe it was the Ballyfermot, and the woman had opened up the windows of the house so other kids could look in the window, the local kids, and there was kids in the hall looking in.
What was this, 1920?
They were just a poor family.
Okay,
it was a poor family in a working class area, and there was all kids coming and looking in the letterbox at them. The mother goes, let them in, and she opens the windows, and all kids just looking in the window. Right? And the woman was sitting there with the child, an infant of about 2, who was just wearing a nappy, and it was the summer, and I was like going, that kid's borderline a bit old to be wearing a nappy.
Yeah.
So she's sitting there with the kid on her lap, and the kid's got a bottle. The kid's got a bottle, and I start drawing the face, and next thing the eyes move. Well, the kid leaps up off the mother's lap, runs up to the front of the room, sticks its head out like proper full on, I'm about to fight, and screamed, fuck off eyes, fuck off eyes.
Fuck off eyes.
Fuck off eyes, not eyes. Eyes. Fuck off eyes. Right. And the mother, everybody just erupted. I had to put the thing down. It was hilarious. I'll have to show you that. I must bring it along.
I gotta see that.
Because it's a. I must dig that out because
it's
But it was one of those classic moments where and it's just a resounding. You know, it's in my. If I ever need a good laugh, I often think about that.
That would put me in such good form. Just fuck off, IS. It's funny that accent, isn't it? How they find extra vowels.
Yeah, they drop in IS. My marmalade. Argentous. I used to have.
There's a D. Yeah. Turns up in oranges.
Argentous, and a marmalade. Marmalade. It's just.
That's how Padson Murray. We were speaking about this, and he was going, "Isn't it funny how we say things with extra vowels?" And I would say, because I had said it to him. I said, "We do, but I don't think I do it too much." I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're giving an expo in it right now. Yeah. Right now, in the live form, you're giving it. Would you? What?
Well, we have a. I think the Irish have a wonderful poetic now. Not necessarily the most beautiful sounding, but it is a poetic. Like when we kind of a friend of mine, we abbreviate things from what to what.
What?
And I now go ha.
To
my wife, I go ha, and that is what. But just I don't want to have to bother with the W or the T.
Fuck that.
No.
Yeah.
Ha.
You go to the Midlands and they drop all the T's out of the middle of words. So now you got Peter's computer. While he was eating Tejos. And I do this bit just when I'm in the Midlands, and it's just a silly thing about their accent, and even though I'm from the southern Midlands of South Tipperary, but it wouldn't be the same accent. It sounds like you're kind of chewing gravel where I'm from, but these people. I remember I was in Eden Derry one time getting petrol, and I was queuing up in the petrol station. This woman was looking through a wedding magazine. She was being told what page. She was on the phone, and she was being told what page to go to see what she thought of the dress. And I was just listening in. She was going, "Oh, jeez, yeah, they're lovely. 1 second or no, what was the 82? 82, where are you? Go to page 82. And she got to page 82, and she said the most ironic thing. The word she said was the most ironically pronounced word, because she went, "Oh, jeez, this is very sophisticated." I was like, oh my God. The fact that you said sophisticated, like you said it, is just...
also it's the rest of the sentence before you say it again. Jesus, it's very sophisticated.
It's just, oh my God, that is glorious. You don't know, you're being beautifully ironic right now. Oh Lord. So, Jack Wise, I think we'll stick a fucking pin in it. It's been fucking class.
It's been a pleasure.
So this weekend, you're obviously tonight, and tomorrow night you're going to be in the Laughter Lounge on Eden Quay.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What day is today? Today is Tuesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
This is going out Friday morning.
Going on Friday, yeah. So I'll be in there Friday and Saturday. So it'll be a laugh.
Have you any other places? Have you any more any other places people can catch you in on the top of your head?
I'll be at the Ashling Children's Festival, Family Festival in Longford. You'll have to Google when it is. It's sometime in late October. I'm going to be at scarefest.ie. I'll be doing a show there.
Brilliant.
And I might be in Urlingford for their Halloween festival as well. I'm waiting to hear back.
Urlingford and Kilkenny, Carlow. Yeah.
So
great stuff. I'll put your website in
irishmagician.com. And you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram at the Jack Wise.
Jack Wise.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks very much, dude. It's great, isn't it?
Cheers,
dude.
Yeah, wonderful.
There you have it. Thanks very much to Jack Wise. What an absolute fucking gent. Cool cat, isn't he? Huh? Cool fucking cat. So pretty much you can hire, as you heard, you can hire Jack for anything. And he'll make a fucking good night of it. It's just, he's so adaptable. In places where just regular stand-ups just couldn't go. You just couldn't go. You know what I mean? Fucking Communion, like. What a fucking absolute legend. Being able to pull that stuff off, and I mean, God, I wish I got into magic. Although I wouldn't have been any good. I wouldn't have been any good. Fair play to Jack. You can catch him, as he said, tonight, tomorrow night he'll be in the Laughter Lounge. I'll put his website links in the description of this. Check him out. Have a fucking gander. Go see him. I swear to God, you will laugh your fucking nads off. He's just, it'll blow you away with how good he is. He's fucking incredible how good he is. So, that's been the podcast for this week. That was number 77. Thank you very much for tuning in. Spread the good word, lads. You're doing something right, because the numbers are coming up every fucking week. Fair fucking play to ye. And I think a bit of it is to do with the old ratings. God bless you. A couple of new ratings came in. I see a couple of comments have come in. I like that. It helps everybody see it. Sure, wouldn't you know what? You know what? If you're not going to donate to the Patreon, at least if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, give it a rating, because it helps. Give it a good rating. Give it a 5-star, obviously, and leave me a comment as well. It's lovely. But Patreon more than anything. I hate fucking pushing for this, but I've given the explanation before. It makes you the producers of the show. If you want to hear more of this shit, sling a couple of dollars at it, like that. If if you buy a fucking Poxy coffee you won't get a coffee for less than £3. Even $2 will help towards it. Everybody chipping in will fucking help towards this bastard. Anyway, follow me on all social platforms, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can find me at Tom O'Mahony Comedy. You'll find me across the lot. Snapchat is Tom Bear O'Mahony. For, like I said, the Ramble Pod will be out next Tuesday, but I will be also talking about that. But I do want you to follow either me or follow The Laughter Lounge so that you can catch it live. Next Tuesday's one, live. It'll be on during the day. So, you know what? Give it a fucking look-see, see what you think. Go to the website for all the gigs, because you can catch me throughout the country. I'm going to be fucking every corner of the country during this month. So go to tomomahony.com/gigs. Like I said, give it a rating. If you're on the Apple Podcast, give it a comment. Be fucking class. Share it out on your social media platform. If you're listening to it, share it with the fucking world. Now, enjoy your weekend, lads. And if you have any funny pictures of you drinking or acting the cunt, sure, send them on. Good luck now.